Thank you for coming through, Honorable Nkombo. Let's quickly get into it and talk about the preparations so far. Just describe to us the general mood over on the Copperbelt there as we're expected to see the filing in of nominations today. The UPND also successfully adopted its candidates for these particular constituencies. I would like to get a general idea of how it's going so far.
Well, the preparations have been ongoing ever since the Electoral Commission of Zambia made the announcement of the date of the filing of nominations, which is today. And from this moment on, when we do file our nominations, we will be canvassing for votes from all the three constituencies in Luangwa for the mayoral election, in Kabushi for the MP election, and also here in Kwacha where I am. So I can say the preparations have been smooth sailing.
Considering the candidates you've gone for, you've gone for, especially in Kabushi and in Kwacha constituencies, you've adopted the same candidates that were adopted last year, leading on to the August 2021 general elections. And with the Patriotic Front also adopting the same candidates they went with in these respective constituencies, how optimistic are you that they will be able to scoop the election this year around for the by-election that is slated for next month?
Well, the definition of confidence is being able to participate, because when you participate, then you're looking forward to a positive result. We adopted the same gentleman, Mr. Bernard Kanengo in Kabushi, and also Mr. Charles Mulenga in Kwacha here where I am. In the midst of very high competition, there were many others who wanted to aspire to become, candidates to be the first carriers of the UPND flag in this race. And so, look, we did our own assessment at various levels of who we think could be the most suitable candidate. All of them are suitable, so don't get me wrong. And I mean the most suitable candidates. And by virtue of the fact that they are the ones who spend time and they're the ones who spend energy to petition what they felt was an injustice in the last election, it only goes without saying that the rule of natural justice seemed to be favoring those who went to the battlefront. They went to court, they spent 12 months in court, and the judgments came in their favor. Gentlemen, lady, it's like, preparing a meal. You first collect firewood, you then put the water on the fire, you cook shima, you set it on the table, you pray. And after you pray, you don't expect that somebody who was out doing other things should just come and have the first bite. So I think that we made the right decision to readopt those who went to seek justice.
And when we talk about your optimism, we also put into consideration what took place in the elections last year in August, where as far as the presidential vote, if we look at places even like Kabushi, presidential vote went towards the former ruling party. Looking at the ward elections as well, the councillors as well, people voting in favor of the ruling party, and others would even term these places as Patriotic Front strongholds. So going into this by-election, how prepared are you also, keeping in mind all these perceptions that these are Patriotic Front strongholds and the UPND might not have as much of a strong chance as the Patriotic Front?
Okay, the unfolding event of the requirement to do this election is a constitutional one. You follow what I mean? And regardless of how the results were last year, I need you to know or to be reminded or to check the facts on the result based of the presidential vote in Kabushi, of the presidential vote in Kwacha here where I am. I put it to you that in Kwacha here where I am, we won as UPND. And so there is nothing like stronghold. That word should be expunged. It's a question of people reasoning and going for what they think is the best for themselves. And please, just be reminded also that during the 2021 elections and going before, the Electoral Processes Act was never followed to the latter. There was extreme violence, there was extreme intimidation, something that helped the UPND to ascend to office, because we made a promise to the Zambian people that they will be free to make their own choices. We are building a free society where people can choose where they want to belong. And I will show you today, by the end of the day, that the police, as they were in the Esra period, with our Esra brothers, they seem to have been, an accomplice in state-sponsored violence. We did a litmus test in Kawata. There was no violence in Kawata, and this was under our administration. My fervent hope is that even going into today's activity, going to the 15th, there will be no tolerance of any political violence from anybody, be it our party, which is ruling now, or the opposition. The police have been told that the holiday of, allowing a team that seems to have muscle by virtue of having been in power to ignore violence is an era that is gone. So we are quite hopeful that today we are going to have peaceful nominations, and that is our state of mind. So there's nothing like stronghold. Just to answer your question, Mr. Hichilema, the president of this country, he won in Kwacha by a landslide. Of course, we lost the MPship. Somebody went to court. They went to seek justice. They found the justice. And now we're back where we really detest to be. As you know, President Hichilema does not like by-elections. But this is a constitutional requirement that compels us to leave our offices, to leave the tranquility and quietness of our homes, to come and canvass for votes. We are compelled to do that by the law. And so we are here, and we are hoping for the best.
Well, as we get to conclude very briefly, we would like to get your sentiments towards the Election Commission of Zambia's position on the elections that were nullified by the Constitutional Court. As we get to conclude very briefly.
I was watching, I joined you just about 7 or so minutes before you called me into the meeting room. And I heard my colleague, Mr. MALANJI, lamenting. Mm-hmm. I also heard other people throwing blame game at a player. Please hate the game, don't hate the player. We have nothing to do with the ECZ statement. We don't work for ECZ. And if you want to be reminded, this is the chairman of elections that you're speaking with. And I want you to know that ever since I left Mulungushi Conference Center, at the time when we're defending our vote, I personally have had no interaction whatsoever with the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Nothing, not even a visit to their office. I've not attended any meeting of any sort. I've not talked to anyone in the commission. So those questions should be answered by the commission. In as far as we are concerned, if we were in that situation, we would simply look for another candidate if the law applies. If the law doesn't apply, they know what to do.